was so good. I did it. Surprise. Oh, why did I change my handle? Oh, a while ago. Just because it didn't feel as like professional, if that makes sense. Just in time for the end. I'm so sorry, Algebra, but I appreciate that. The VOD will be saved and this will all be going up on my YouTube. So for the bits that anybody's missed, if you wanted to see my reaction to anything, yeah, you can watch some of the VODs and I'm getting the whole thing up on YouTube anyway. So yeah. Fallen Order 2! Might even be after credit ending. Okay. I can wait for some of the credits to finish. Especially as I've only been on for like just over an hour. I thought this was going to take me a good like 2 hours to finish. Especially some of those the longer fights and stuff with more enemies. Yeah. It's been optimized for the Series S. Oh, cool. Yeah, no, absolutely. I could totally see why you'd replay this. I enjoyed it a lot more than I expected. I thought that, like, I keep saying this, I'm not like a Star Wars expert. So I thought a lot of like references and stuff might be lost on me. But there's enough explaining that you understand why everything's important. Like, you understand the story even if you're not super well versed in like Star Wars lore. Yeah. Good, thanks, Crunch. How have you been? I hope your cholesterol isn't actually that high. I'm scared for you. Oh, and the PS5. Ah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, well, that doesn't surprise me, honestly. As you guys have seen, I've had a little bit of trouble running this because it is quite like a high spec kind of game, even though I've had it on like minimum settings. It, like, even on the lowest of the low settings, it still looks amazing. So, yeah. Yeah, wonderful. You should absolutely replay it. Yeah. I can totally see, as much as it's not like RPG in terms of like decisions, you can choose all the skill tree stuff, and it's so pretty to just be in it. Like, exploring all the planets is really, really nice. Yeah. The least Star Wars knowledge. Okay, yeah, so I don't have like the least Star Wars knowledge ever. I have seen all the films. I've seen some of them like multiple times, but I don't consider myself to like understand like the, you know, the history of the Jedi and like understand the Empire, and people have several different names, and like I don't hold a lot of that like in my memory. But I understand like basic like basic concepts in the world and stuff. So for me, it gave me enough additional information that I wasn't like, but why is that a thing? And wait, who's that again? And all of that, you know, and how is that person related to that person and all of this stuff. It was very good. Just the storytelling, really, really good. Yeah. How many planets are there? I don't know. Even having just finished it, I don't know. Many, so many planets. Yeah, things, all of that stuff where I'm like, I will recognize the names of a few things, the names of people, the names of planets, but I couldn't necessarily tell you like exactly who they are, who they're related to, how they got there, what their journeys, you know, their life story, all of this stuff. So, yeah. Dathomir, Zepho, Gargano, and Kashyyyk. Yeah, and we had Ilum yesterday as well. Yeah, and then that was Nur, apparently, whatever the hell that is. Hoth, yeah. Kashyyyk. It's where the Wookiees live. I know that now, which I didn't know before I played this game. I knew about Wookiees, I didn't know what their home planet was, and now I do. So yeah, I think considering Star Wars has such a I want to say like a dedicated fan base. Like if you know Star Wars, people like know a lot about Star Wars. I was worried it was gonna expect a lot of like prior knowledge from me that I wasn't gonna have. But actually having like a really basic knowledge of like, I know what a Jedi is. Like really, really simple stuff that like you don't need to know much more than that, because it does explain it to you, and it explains it to you in a way that isn't patronizing, which I find like a lot of storytelling struggles with that balance of like, you know how a lot of media will have like a character that kind of acts as the audience, right? There's a concept for it, I don't know what it's called, but where they always explain things to like a character, and that character is basically acting as the audience, so like you're getting things explained to you. I think sometimes that's done in a really obvious way, but I think a lot of things that are good explain things to you in a way that you don't feel like you're just having lore dumped at you, or it's patronizing, or like, you're dumb, let me explain this thing, right? Exactly, even I know who Darth Vader is, right? Things like that. So, yeah, things like that where like, there's like base cultural knowledge, and then there's like the people who know like a lot about Star Wars because like it's, you know, a franchise or whatever that they really enjoy. So then they, you know who is related to. So this is okay. So this is the problem I had with The Mandalorian, right? Which I love. Baby Yoda, yes. But it had some reveals that were supposed to be important, but because I didn't really have the prior knowledge by like watching, I think it's one of the animated series, there are a lot of things where it's like, did a big moment, and I'm like, I have no idea who that is or why this is supposed to be important. So I felt like a lot of the time it anticipated like the audience that was going to watch that show having like all this prior Star Wars knowledge. But which I think is a bit of a mistake, because yeah, okay, you can assume that, oh, like our user base is going to be like primarily massive fans, and they know everything about the Star Wars universe, and if we, you know, get an inconsistency, they're gonna like crucify us. But you also have to have that balance of like how much you cater to the people who don't really know the lore, who don't really know the universe that you're operating in this series. So yeah, I felt a bit left out with The Mandalorian because it had some things like that where I was like, I know this is supposed to be an important person, or who they're to do with is supposed to be important, and like that didn't come across because I didn't know who it was meant to be. So like you have to really strike that balance between like under explaining for the people who don't know much and over explaining in a way that makes it feel like patronizing and stuff. I think this game has been much better at kind of hitting that balance where I don't feel like I've been over explained to, but I also don't feel like I'm an idiot and didn't understand the story. Yeah, I agree. I didn't expect to come up against him in this game. I was expecting like the Triller fight and stuff, and then maybe something harder, but that's not what I was expecting. So I'm really happy with how that was. Yeah. Exactly. Episodes of Mandalorian. I just kept watching it because I loved Baby Yoda so much, right? That I was watching this whole thing. I watched The Mandalorian, right, the entire thing, with so much anxiety, like, oh god, is he gonna die this episode? Are they gonna kill him this episode? Are they gonna, like, every time something happened, I'd be like, oh, that's it, they're gonna kill Baby Yoda. Like all of this stuff. Okay, Ahsoka Tano, like, her reveal was huge, and I'm like, don't know who that is, because she's not in any of the movies. So I didn't know who she was. And they did this whole big reveal, and it was supposed to be important. I was like, don't know who you are. Insignificant to me. Yeah, so I do now, because of The Mandalorian and the conversations that people had around The Mandalorian, so I now understand a bit more about, like, the history of, like, Boba Fett and, like, what they all do and stuff like that. But I think when they do the Boba Fett, like, TV series is going to be even more niche than The Mandalorian, and I think it's just going to lose me at that point, especially if there's no Baby Yoda for me to be obsessed with. So it's like, how are you going to keep me hooked if you haven't got like a tiny little Baby Yoda in the, you know? Yeah, so they're Mandalorians, they're bounty hunters, yeah. But yeah, that's the thing. It can so easily lose you if you're not like in the universe and know kind of like races or hierarchies or like specific famous figures or things like that. But yeah, Ahsoka Tano, I didn't have a clue who she was until Mandalorian. So there are lots of things like that where it's like, oh, it's this person, and I'm like, Don't know who that is. So I think as part of the Star Wars universe, this game might actually be better than The Mandalorian. As much as I enjoyed The Mandalorian, I loved having Mando, I loved having Baby Yoda, but this felt a lot more, not necessarily beginner friendly, but yeah, like beginner friendly. Yeah, like you can enjoy a Star Wars game without like being a like self-proclaimed Star Wars nerd or whatever. Like you can be a nerd in general, but you don't have to be like a full like I'm a massive Star Wars fan to enjoy playing this game. Yeah, as much as I'm not going to get anyone who has just watched me play the ending probably buying it off the back of this, because you now know how it ends and who you have to fight. It's really enjoyable, I think. Yeah, I think the writing was really good, storytelling, all the voice acting, the animation of the characters, especially, I didn't really think about it with Sarah and Grease, but as soon as they brought in Merrin and her, like, physical mannerisms was so, like, realistic and, like, relatable. I felt like she was really, like, you know, just little tiny pieces of how she moved looked really natural, and I was really, I don't know, it was really nice to like see the interactions with her, because she just sort of like, I don't know, she was like relaxed. She didn't seem like a stiff character that like just did a couple movements, and it was just really fluid, I think, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, she's got big eyes, but she's got some great eyebrows. You can't say she doesn't have great eyebrows, okay? Hera, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Lego Star Wars. Okay. You think Lego Star Wars is the best? Okay. Never played any Lego Star Wars, so there we go. Original or remake. Oh, okay. Yeah, people seem to like Battlefront. So this is the only Star Wars game I think I've ever played. I think. Don't think I've played any other Star Wars games. I do have another one in my library though. So this one was gifted by Iceman. I think Styles gifted me a different one. That he said was more linear, so I might enjoy it a bit more, because I had some trouble early on with this one in that it's not totally linear. Like you can wander around and stuff. So, oh, it's Hiram. Oh, cool. So Squadrons is good, is it? Okay. Oh really? Yeah, that's the thing. I think Knights of the Old Republic ones are are for Star Wars nerds, right? Like you're someone who already really loves Star Wars. Yeah. BF2 was a microtransaction fest. Oh, I didn't know that. That's annoying. There are more lore depth. Yeah, exactly. Wonderful. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah, targeting people who are already Star Wars fans and just want more Star Wars content, right? Can I skip these credits? Is that after credit stuff? I don't want to skip it. But this is such a big game that these credits are going to be so long. I didn't mean to keep everyone here for this long. I was just, you know, too busy nerding out about Star Wars, but I wanted to see if I'd get to the end of the credits. I'll double check. Oh, thanks, wonderful. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah. I don't want people to get bored, but I also don't want to skip it and like miss anything in case there's something that, yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree about, yeah, targeting fans. I think though, that's the thing, that's what I'm saying, is that you have to get that balance between like keeping the fans that already exist happy and trying to basically recruit new fans, essentially. Yeah. Never skip credits on stream. Yeah, but also if I'm a streamer, I don't want people to get bored. If I've got things to talk about, that's fine. But if I'm just sat here like, you know, which, like, I easily watch credits for small games because the credits aren't that long. So if I'm playing indie games and the credits are like 3 minutes of going through names, that's fine. But yeah. Yeah, otherwise you just get bored seeing the same the same names with different names attached. The same characters with different names attached. Yeah. There isn't anything afterwards. Okay. But you can go back into the game to 100%. Oh, okay. So yeah, so you can go and do the more of exploring and planets and yeah, okay. Okay. That's cool, that's cool. Ah, Prouf. Oh, I miss Prouf. You always worry about after credit scenes. What, when you're playing games? Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, this is the thing. I'm not very good at, like, recognizing names either, unless it's, like, voices of main characters, or, like, it's an indie game, and it's made by people that, like, I already recognize because I like the indie studio or something. Yeah. Games and movies. Oh, okay. Yeah. I always worry about, like, movies. Especially because, like, if you get up and nobody else is getting up, you're like, should I not be leaving this movie right now? Do I have to just sit back down? I always, like, faff about with, like, my phone and stuff and wait to see if other people leave. Because there's always people who know, right? Even if you go really early on in, like, a showing, there's always people who know if there's a scene or not. So you watch out and see if anybody else has left or not. Yeah. Yeah. Ah, cool. Yeah. Yeah, I really liked the voice acting in this. It was really good. Also, so I found out that, like, okay, so loads of tickets for gigs are coming out now for, like, next year, right? Because over here, oh, it is John Williams music. This song. This song. I am going to see that band supporting another band next year. And I didn't realize until I looked up that band, was like, oh, who's the support? And it's the song for the opening cutscene of this game. And I was like, I've heard their music already because I played this fucking game. I know, exactly. Yeah. They're really like, they're Mongolian heavy metal. Strange, but it's good. And yeah, it's the very opening cutscene before you get to see Cal. And you get a big old cutscene of it like moving through the world and stuff. Yeah, Disco Elysium's on my wish list. Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely, 100%. I'd love to play Disco Elysium. Best song was on Bracken. All the songs in this are great. Honestly, every time you go to a new planet, the music is incredible. Yeah, I love it. Like all the atmospherics, all the sound effects. I enjoyed this game way more than I expected to enjoy a Star Wars game. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, Disco Elysium is definitely on my wish list, but I don't own it yet. So next week, I need to figure out what games to play next week. So what I am going to do is go back to what I was doing while I was still playing Cloudpunk and this, and do one game Monday, Tuesdays, and another game Thursdays and Fridays. So I want to pick like 2 different types of games. I have loads of games to pick from. So one's going to be like a really tiny... I bought loads of like tiny indie cyberpunk games in like the Steam sale. So I'm going to get through some like shorter indie games, and I'm going to probably pick some bigger games to go earlier in the week, maybe? Really? Seriously? Disco Elysium was made by the lead singer of a band you really like. Who? What? Where? Is it? Is it? Okay, I'm Googling this because I have, yeah. The game didn't appeal to me until they released it with the voice acting. And then I heard the voice of the narrator and I was like, fuck, I have to play this. So I recently played a game called Backbone, and it's done in a really similar way. It's a much shorter game, I believe. Thank you, George Lucas. It's a much shorter game, I believe, than Disco Elysium, but it's really similar in terms of how the dialogue works and like the themes that come up. I think. So that, yeah, when I was playing Backbone, people were saying, oh, this is really like Disco Elysium, would you play that? I'm like, yes, absolutely, I wanted this before I even knew I wanted Backbone. So I will be playing that at some point eventually when I get it. Is it in the Steam sale? Maybe. But that's cool. That's cool. I'm looking up stuff now. It's a musician. Cool. Oh, now the music stopped in bloody Star Wars. Oh, okay. Ooh. He sounds cool. Yeah, no, I've seen the writing for Disco Elysium and the kind of dialogue, and it fits a lot of the themes from a lot of the games that I personally enjoy. So it is one that I'm interested in. But I have such a huge backlog of games. I need to get through some longer games. I have a lot of indie games to play, which are kind of between like 4 and 10 hours ish long. So I'm going to try and knock out some indie ones towards the end of next week, I think, which will be fun.